No one saw it coming. Not the fans. Not the media. Not even the insiders who claimed to know it all. For years the chemistry between Dylan Wang and Shen Yue lit up screens across Asia. Their performances together sparked rumors and dreams.
But real life, well,
Real life was quiet, private,
protected.
until now. Because the world just discovered the one thing they kept hidden all this time. A baby boy. Yes,
You heard that right.
Dylan Wang and Shen Yue have a child together. And this is how it all came out. It began with a blurry photo posted on a fan forum. A small child, no older than 2, holding hands with a woman who looked almost too much like Shen Yue to be a coincidence. The child had deep, thoughtful eyes that burned with something familiar. The shape of the face, the little smile, it was impossible to ignore. He looked exactly like Dylan Wang. The internet exploded. Within an hour, that photo had been reposted across every major fan page in Asia. Comments flooded in, some in shock, others in disbelief. But most fans said one thing. We always knew there was something deeper between them. Then came the video. A short clip filmed by a passerby in a quiet park. Dylan was sitting on a bench, dressed casually, cap pulled low, trying not to be seen. But the child standing in front of him gave everything away. The boy was laughing,
Pointing.
trying to climb up onto his lap. And Dylan, without hesitation, lifted him up and held him close. That was not acting. That was not pretending.
That
Was a father holding his son. Fans were stunned, but the signs were all there. They just never looked close enough. An old interview with Dylan resurfaced. He had been asked if he believed in soulmates. His answer back then now felt like a hidden message. I believe in timing. Some things are meant to happen when no one is watching. And some loves leave behind something that stays forever. People thought it was poetry.
now.
It feels like a confession. Soon, a former staff member on one of their fashion campaigns broke the silence. Anonymously, but convincingly. They were never just co-stars, the insider said. There were moments that didn't need a script. He looked at her like she was home. She looked at him like she was holding everything together. There was even a story of Dylan walking off set, without telling anyone, because Shun had missed a shoot. He returned hours later, her phone in his hand, and her favorite coffee in the other. What kind of co-star does that?
Then,
The breaking point. A journalist claimed to have seen the birth record. A private clinic in Taipei.
2 years ago.
A baby boy. Mother's name.
Shen Yue.
Father not listed. But the surname of the child was Wang. Everything stopped. Fans knew. This was no longer a rumor. This was truth. Think about it. Shin disappearing from the spotlight for a while. Dylan suddenly more grounded. More mature. More careful with his words. They were growing. Not just as actors, but as people. As parents. They chose to protect something, rather than parade it. Then came the moment that sealed everything. At the premiere of his new film, a reporter asked Dylan, "Who was the last person you hugged before coming here?"
He paused, smiled.
And quietly said, "My son." He didn't want me to leave. So I promised I'd be home before bedtime. You could hear the silence in that press room. You could feel the heart stop. No denial. No dramatic twist. Just quiet truth. A few days later, Shen Yue posted a private image. One only her inner circle could see. But fans found it anyway. A little boy, holding 2 plush toys. A rabbit and a dragon. For those who knew, Shun had always been the rabbit. Dylan, the dragon. The caption was simple. 2 hearts. 1 little world. Support poured in. Messages of love. Of respect. Of admiration. One fan wrote, "This is not a scandal. This is a secret love story. A family they protected with their silence." Another said, "They raised a child away from cameras. Away from noise. That is real love." Weeks passed. No public statement was made. No drama was added. Until one day, someone spotted them together at a small bookshop in Seoul,
Dylan, Shen, and the boy.
walking hand in hand. No security, no makeup, just three souls moving quietly through the city, as if the world finally let them be. And in that moment, there were no headlines, no stage, no script,
Just a man.
a woman.
And a child. Proof.
That love, real love, does not need to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes, it only needs to be true. If you were ever wondering whether fairy tales could exist in real life, look no further. Because Dylan Wang and Shen Yue just gave the world a love story worth remembering forever. And this time, it came with a heartbeat,
Small feet.
and the smile of a child. Everything seemed calm after that quiet walk through Seoul. Dylan, Shen, and the little boy walking hand in hand. No cameras, no words.
Just a moment of peace.
But peace does not last forever, especially in a world that is always watching. And the peace they thought they had was only the beginning of something bigger, something the world would not be ready for, because their story was not finished. It had only just begun. For weeks there was silence. No interviews. No fan sightings. No photos. But deep in the quiet, something was unfolding. A new project was in the works. One that would bring Dylan and Shen back together. On screen. For the first time in years. At first no one believed it.
But then,
A leaked casting list revealed two familiar names. Wang Hedi, Shen Yue. The title of the drama was simple, but powerful. Homecoming. And just like that, fans erupted. Was this just another drama? Or was this their way of telling the world their story? Through fiction, with whispers of the truth. Days later, paparazzi caught them arriving on set. Dylan carrying his own backpack, Shen holding a small bag with toys inside. And between them,
the child.
he was dressed like any other child. But the way they looked at him, with care, with warmth, with silent communication, it was clear. This was not just a visit. This was a part of their life now. But the biggest shock came when a member of the crew posted something on her private blog. She described a moment during filming that left everyone speechless. There was a scene where Dylan had to cry while holding a child. It was written into the script. The director called action. And Dylan broke. Real tears. Real shaking. Not just performance, but something real. Something raw. And when the camera stopped, he did not move. Because in that moment, he was not acting. He was holding his own son. The child had wandered onto set quietly, curious, looking for his parents. And Dylan, without missing a beat, held him close. The director kept the camera rolling. And what they captured was not fiction. It was truth. The crew stood still. Even Shen, watching from behind the monitor, had tears in her eyes. This was no longer just a show. This was life. Unfiltered. And when the teaser trailer dropped, it shook the internet. In one scene, Dylan whispers to the child, "You are the reason I breathe." Fans broke down. Because those words felt too personal, too real. And in the background, Shen's character is watching them, eyes filled with love and loss. The world could not tell where the story ended and where real life began. And just when people thought they had seen it all, something else happened. Something even more powerful. A handwritten letter surfaced, posted quietly on a small fan page. No official signature. No press release. Just ink on paper. It began like this. To those who watched us grow, and those who stood by us. Thank you for letting us protect what matters most. The letter spoke of silence, of sacrifice, of choosing love behind the curtains rather than applause under the spotlight. It did not mention names, but it did not have to. At the bottom was a single line. He calls her mama, and he calls me home. That was all it took. The letter went viral, shared across every corner of social media, translated into a dozen languages, because people knew This